Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining. It's going to be a new year, new month, new everything. So, first off, thank you to my family for this lovely Christmas gift, which is an Insta 360 camera. So now everything is now in high definition, 4K, all that good stuff, low lighting, high resolution, great stuff. We're also going to look at some of the aspects that are taking place for the sign of Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising from now until a month later, which is going to be roughly around the 19th of February. We are currently entering into the age, I do believe it's going to be sun entering into Aquarius at this particular point in time. Don't quote me on that. We may just be actually finishing up the last bit of Capricorn, but yeah, maybe I think it is Aquarius season now. Anyways, so I don't faff about too much with that in my head. We're going to go ahead and look at some of the aspects taking place for your sign during this period and what you can expect. Now, I've shuffled the cards and looked at your reading so far. It does not seem to be a very positive or optimistic reading, considering how most of the time Sagittarians are usually pretty spot on, very upbeat and uplifted. But in this particular case, there's a bit of hard energy to go through, so we're going to try to just dissect each of these different points as best as possible and understand what's taking place for this particular difficult period in your life. Now, before we get started, if you'd like to support the channel, just do a few things. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ding notification bell, leave a comment. And if you'd like to chuck, a few quid, dollars, renminbi, euros, whatever, shillings, I don't know, you can do so by contributing to the PayPal link in the description box below in the comments. So that said, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Sagittarius, we have some difficult energy here. We have the sun in the reverse. So this could be one of two things. I could talk about things not being clear, or it could just be you going through the feels a bit. And I'm going to clarify this a little bit so that we can be absolutely clear. Back on the reverse. Okay. Sun reverse, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Wands. So I'm not sure exactly why the sun is in reverse, yet we have two cards clarifying it, is the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. It's quite possibly you felt that there was someone that you could commit to. If this is a love relationship, there was someone that you really wanted to commit to, or someone that you felt was going to be the start of moving into a high-powered commitment. And unfortunately, that did not take place. So what I'm getting here, because a lot of this reading talks about this in your signifier card, which is the King of Pentacles, this could be work-related. It could be about setting up a foundation that allows you to be stable financially. But it could also be about stability of a romantic relationship as well, or a project that you're trying to get off the ground. Can you clarify what this King of Pentacles is about? Okay. Queen of Swords in the reverse. We're going down an even deeper rabbit hole. You have a king and queen here. One is of earth and one is of air. So you yourself may have both of these in your chart. You may also be dealing with an air sign as well, or you may be dealing with, it could be actually between, a person who is more grounded and stable and a person who's actually quite cold and bitchy, to say the least. I hate using that word sometimes, but that's the best way to describe it. Now, we look into what's taken place in the recent past. We have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone, something just wasn't working out. And for what it's worth, a lot of this talks about things that are behind you in the past. So that's a good thing. Now, it felt that maybe in the past you weren't working to expectations, or someone wasn't working to their expectations for you. And so this talks about now you're taking the risk, you're going on a new journey, and you're going to try to learn how to overcome this difficult situation, because the problem that you face here is the Page of Swords. This is about communicating difficult truths to you about this particular thing. If it's a love relationship, you're looking at this person, you're saying, you know what, not really feeling it right now. I'm not really interested in this. I'm not having it. It's time for me to move on. If it's about particularly a person that came into your life and now you're starting to reflect on that person, what kind of things took place between the two of you at that time, you're now saying to yourself, I'm stepping out of this. I'm getting back. It's about communicating those painful, difficult truths or those enlightening bits of, of information that are not always easy pills to swallow, but nevertheless, they are the best medicine for us anyways. So that said, we're looking into this. We're moving from the past. We're going into the future. And the future is also a little bit not so bright either. So it's a bit of a dim reading. We have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. And then also we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Two of these cards did come out for Taurus. So if you have Taurus in your chart, that could relate to you as well. But we talk about, as we look into this, we're moving towards letting go of something, letting go of the lies, the deceptions, the lack of clarity that someone or something has brought into your life. What are we letting go of? So again, clarify again. So we have the Page of Pentacles. And what this tells us about is about learning. Ten of Cups. So it's about learning what makes you truly happy. You see in both of these cards, there are rainbows in that, and that talks about the entire spectrum of emotions, of experiences, things like that, that will manifest during this difficult period. Now, you're letting go of all the ambiguity, the lies, the deceit, the deception, and you're now starting to tap into what it is that makes you feel absolutely overjoyed to do for yourself. So perhaps you've been working a job where it says to you, like, I'm not really feeling this job. It's kind of shit. I think that every day is the same. To quote the Nine Inch Nails song, we then look into, how this makes us feel, that we get tired of not having the ability to make progress, to learn about those things that make us happy and to be able to explore those in the tangible world. So, for example, if you're doing the same thing at work, you're on the grind all the time, or if you're attracting the same type of partners, the same type of people that you're romantically interested in, then now it's like, you know what, I'm a bit finished with this. It's time for us to step out and move forward so that we don't repeat the same mistakes as before. Now, whereas Taurus in the recent past, Taurus in the near future, they had the World in reverse. And now with Sagittarius, they have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ace of Swords in the reverse. This talks about, in order to remove the things that are blocking your progress in life, you have to do things in a fresh way. Let go of the old. Let go of what it is that you think that you value at this particular point in time, and then start to see things clearly for what they are. Because once you do that, once you let go of the dross, and that just falls to the wayside, then you can start to explore and learn about the things that make you absolutely happy. Because this energy is not really great. I'm going to just be honest with you. It's pretty shit. But you have the Three of Swords at your core for this particular time. Now, hopefully no one has betrayed you, because we do have also the Ten of Swords in the reverse as well, where you're getting over heartbreak. So say, for example, you dated someone and that person stabbed you in the back. They, ghosted, or they vanished, or they did something horrible to you. They slept with your best friend, or, your brother, or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. But you look at that heartbreak that has been generated because of that situation, and then it is now time for you to make that the focus of overcoming that betrayal and that difficulty. Clarify your swords again. Eight of Pentacles, this time in the upright. So now it's about working towards overcome that difficulty and that problem that has impeded your progress since then. And once you can then finally tap into and understand what it is that has made you feel this heartbreak, this suffering, and all of these things, it's then time for you to move forward, do the work, so that way you can extricate this from your psyche. Because right now, we have the Tower as what you know to be true for this period. Now, in this deck, the Tower talks about striking this tree. And this tree has been growing and building and developing and everything. And it does seem to be like an evergreen tree or something like that. Something that feels a bit invincible. It's able to weather a lot of the different storms. It's able to also deal with a lot of different seasons. But this massive strike, this blow to your ego, which knocks the crown off of the Tower and the traditional Rider-Waite, it's now telling us that your ego is bruised, but in order for you to rebuild, and this is what I was just telling Taurus, you have to find a more solid, stable foundation. Because right now, what this is doing, this is making you feel a bit of a lack mentality. And it's kind of focusing on your weaknesses a bit. Clarify the Tower again. This is a fucking horrible reading. I'm not going to lie to you. We get the Three of Swords again. Three of Swords at the bottom, at your core energy. Three of Swords at the crown. Something has absolutely devastated you. And it's so clear in this reading right now. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that this isn't like a betrayal at work, or if it's a betrayal at, at love, or maybe even just thinking about the betrayals in general that you've experienced in life. But to get the Three of Swords twice for the Sagittarius reading, that's telling. That's quite heavy energy. That so whichever Sagittarius this applies to, understand that if it doesn't apply to you, just please don't take these cards. Maybe because I'm reading into a collective, it's not going to apply to everyone, and it's just a matter of your own personal experiences. Now, moving into that, we then start to talk about some of the things that are taking place in the future. You have justice. Justice is all about taking stock of the things that you have done in your past and what kind of effects they're taking on your life in the future, or they're having on your life in the future, or even in the now. Everything is cause and effect. Everything is causality in the universe. And the actions that we put forth bring about a specific kind of result. Even if you intend to have a positive outcome, things in your environment, things of that nature can actually come to disrupt that. So that we have here, we're moving away from the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. We're now taking stock of that. Sorry. Yeah, this was the Ten of Cups in the reverse. And then the Nine of Pentacles. And then we also have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So looking at all three of these things, you're demystifying that which you think was supposed to be your end-all be-all. When you have this Ten of Cups in the reverse and this Nine of Pentacles, it's almost like someone who is really, really enjoying, really focused on their financial and their material independence, but has suffered in the emotional realm. And maybe it's time for you to reevaluate what it is that you have placed a lot of stock in, because whatever's coming in is going to disrupt that. And additionally, it's going to demystify that which you thought was going to be the path that you were going to take for this period, this period in time. Now, what we have here at the end, we have, let's see here. I think I already said the end, actually. I may have gotten the cards mixed up. But we do have here, again, Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles in the reverse. That's actually the end cards, so I apologize. And then this goes to clarify. We have the Ten of Cups and the Daughter of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. So we're getting the similar energies there to talk about. And if we could sum that up, it's time for you to look at whatever is going to come into your life during this period and kind of throw you off kilter. Whether that is a relationship, whether that is a job, shit going down at, work, things going down in your relationship. And then finally saying to yourself, okay, what have I been doing that has led me up to this particular part of my life? Is this a recurring pattern? Is this something that I need to break, like a particular personal curse or a generational curse? Now, it does tell us that the hard work that you've been doing is paying off, and this is the new moon in Capricorn. So even though darkness feels like it's falling upon you, you're now starting to get to a place where you can say to yourself, I'm actually making decent progress. And a lot of the things that I didn't need in my life and the things that were holding me back from that which I've truly desired are now being sloughed off. They're being removed from your, from your being, from your everyday affairs. Finally, we talk about the archangels that are actually guiding you here. We have Sandalphon and we have Chokmah. So what is an archangel? This is Archangel Sandalphon, which comes towards the end, and this is almost like the world card. This is the angel of new life. After we go through a process, we now come back to the process that starts it all over again. And that's typically what the world would insinuate in the Rider-Waite Tarot or the tarot in general. When you have Chokmah, this is the right eye of wisdom that takes place in the Kabbalistic tree of life. And this tells us about all the wisdom that you have accumulated, all the wisdom and knowledge that you have gained throughout this course, throughout this period of time in your life. Use that to create a new life, whether that's elsewhere or here or in this particular field with this particular person. Find a way to let the old die and the new to be born. And once you can do that, all the work that you have placed into the past, you'll then find out which work has actually paid off and which work needs to get put to rest. So that is the reading for this particular period. I think that this can be a positive outcome for you if you take things in stride and then finally let go of the heartbreak. Because these 3 of Swords here, 10 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, I mean, fucking hell, who is going through this type of energy? And whichever Sagittarians are going through this, hopefully you can bounce back. Because me being a Sagittarian ascendant, that sucks too, if this were to apply to me. But nevertheless, it's not something we haven't seen before, and it's not something that we can't overcome. And so, knowing that, I think it's important that we give ourselves credit, give ourselves, place stock in the things that we have accumulated up to then. So, that's going to be it for this reading for today. Thanks so much. Hopefully it's been help. If you're going through any kind of specific situations that resonate with this, my heart's out to you, and I hope that you can overcome that. I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks so much. Till next time, love and light. Bye now.